G'day, I'm Kevin Young. I'm Australia's most successful property investor, but I started out poor and I'm constantly being asked, how do you do it? How do you get there? You ask me, I'll give you the solutions. Between us, we'll make you wealthy. G'day, welcome back to Ask Kevin Young, and we are still at the 22nd annual conference, and I'm talking to Troy Gunner-Sakira, who's our national manager and currently based over in Perth,
West.
over here in beautiful downtown Gold Coast.
Yes.
Troy, what's the main fire in your belly that you've got to share with us?
Look, it's a really good question, Kevin, and most people are coming to me and saying, Troy, is the property market stable? Is there ongoing demand for property? And when you look at the most recent facts and statistics that have come out, basically the quarterly dwelling approvals, that's a dwelling approval for a dwelling, it's come through at around 30 to 40,000, and our quarterly population growth is at around 70 to 80,000. So there's a looming crash because there's 20 to 30,000 less dwellings being created every quarter. Over a year, that's up near 150 to 200,000 less dwellings, and that's a massive gap between the supply and demand.
So you'd say not enough bananas in the store?
I was just going to refer to your famous banana story, definitely, because when you take those facts into account, when there's not enough supply coming in and a lot of demand coming in, there's a lot more people that are going to be paying up the current rents, and there's a lot more competition, and we're seeing that with properties at the moment with our leasing department. There's not as many rentals that are needing our rent safe program. We're not seeing as many impending vacancy notification forms because most people's properties are staying tenanted, and I'm sure you're seeing that in your ones as well, that people are staying for the medium to long term.
And of course, adding to the shortage of supply, as the family ages, the kids leave school, leave home, and need a dwelling. And so they join the army of potential renters out there.
Yeah.
So the demand is really a lot more than people think of when they just look at the population growth. It's the evolving family. And then of course, also as you go searching for properties to rent or buy, there are properties coming off the market all the time as builders get hold of a group of properties, demolish them to build units or townhouses in their stead, or tall high-rises in their stead. So the supply is just constantly being attacked all the time, and yet the demand's rising all the time. Now on top of all that, we hear the fear that negative gearing could be abolished. Simply can't happen because there's just simply not enough supply, Troy, as you said, to meet the current demand, let alone swelling the demand by 14-fold. It just doesn't make sense.
My other thought just on that process as well is, so when the rents would go up if negative gearing was abolished, then there aren't going to be people who can be able to afford those rents, and they're going to be pushing back on government and public housing.
Yeah.
And at the moment, with the country being in not having the dollars to supply that, that's going to only place increasing challenges on our existing resources, housing resources.
Sure. And then as state governments currently now get 10% GST when an investor buys an existing property, that source of funds is going to dry up because they're not going to buy existing properties. And the question may be, will those people being denied now, as APRA is forcing to not buy property, are they going to put their money into the share market? If they do, there's no GST on the share market.
Correct.
There's no stamp duty on the share market. So they'll miss out on the stamp duty and they'll miss out on the GST.
It's going to be less income they're going to get
Income to
federally.
state governments.
Yeah, state and federal. There was an article in the paper the other day talking about a builder in Sydney who builds like $5 to $6 million to $2 million houses each year. And he was saying that his contractors and all would be so affected, and his business would be affected if he didn't have these where people were able to negatively gear and invest for them. So the effect to small business as well, which is the engine room of the economy, would be massive. There's so much talk about lifting the retirement age and all of those. It's just an impending crunch.
Well, hopefully we'll have a government in very shortly that'll know how to fix all this. And I think it'll be led by the President of Australia, Troy Gunner-Sakira.
Oh, no,
Well
yeah.
done.
Thanks, Kevin. All the best.
Okay, hope you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed talking about property and funding and retirement and things close to our heart. If you liked it, please share it with your friends and like us on Facebook. Thank you.